Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel. Peter Likes Books, and this is my Spook-a-thon wrap-up. And I'm really excited about doing this. I had so much fun on Spook-a-thon this year. I want to thank Shannon and Kayla for inviting me to co-host it with them. I just had so much fun putting my TBR together, reading, participating, all of it. It was so much fun to do this year. I read 4 out of my 5 books in the challenge, even though I changed some things around. And it actually took me 1 day longer than Spook-a-thon to finish my 4th book. But that's better than I usually do in my readathon. So I was very proud of myself this year. I had so much fun doing it. And I'm going to go in and kind of talk about what I read, what I didn't read, what I changed, all that kind of stuff. So, getting right into it, I first want to say that the group read, Toil and Trouble, 15 Tales of Women and Witchcraft, I tried so hard to get into this book, okay? I started so many of the stories and literally couldn't get like 2 or 3 pages into it. So this just was not for me, and I did not read it. So I apologize if you guys read it and you enjoyed it. I hope you did. I think a lot of people said they struggled with it, but I also got a lot of messages from people that said that they really, really enjoyed it too. So let me know if you read this and what you thought in the comment section below. Okay. Getting into my TBR. Now, for my thriller, which was, I don't know the order of the challenges, so I'm just going to talk about them. But for my first one, which was read a thriller, I read Cabinet at the End of the Universe by Paul Tremblay. It was so fantastic. I would probably give it like, I don't even remember what I said at that time. I talked about it on my vlog and other places, but or on my vlog, my BookTube Spook-a-thon vlog. I also talked about it on my daily vlog. I talked about it extensively because I loved this book so much. But the ending to me left a lot to be desired. I am going to do a full review of every one of these books that I read. I've done a full review of every book I've read for 2018, and I just passed my 40 books. My goal was 100 this year, so I'm now like, I hope I make it to 62, which is what I read last year. But anyway, so I would probably give it like a 4.5. It was a fantastic thriller, and I listened to it on Audible. The Audible edition of it is really, really good. If you're listening, or if you're looking for an Audible thriller, go check out Cabin at the End of the Universe by Paul Tremblay. I was super impressed with it. Kayla actually gave it to me as a recommendation, and I'm very happy. It's probably one of the best thrillers I've read in a long time, and it's kind of a mix between a thriller and, you know, apocalyptic kind of stuff and science fiction a little bit. But you don't have to be a science fiction fan to love it, because I'm not. I just thought it was done so, so well. And, you know, it has some spiritual elements to it and things like that. Check it out. Definitely check it out. If you like things that are kind of a little bit different, like it, you know, the author takes a lot of creative license in a book, like this is definitely the book for you. It was fantastic. Okay, so that was that. Then, I think this is the last challenge. Where is it? Okay. But it was read a book that had pictures in it. And I had originally picked Clue because I had heard so many good things about this graphic novel. But every night I would sit over there on the couch and read, and I'd have my readers on, and I'd have the light on in the kitchen because my husband would be asleep upstairs, and we have a loft, so it's kind of hard to have the lights on. And the print is so small on here, I don't know if you can see, that I'd be like, I had such a hard time reading it, that I'd actually bought this book for my nephew, and it's called Graveyard Shakes by Laura Terry. And it is like an elementary school graphic novel. And I read this whole thing in like a day and a half. It was really, really a cute book. So if you're looking for a good, it's not necessarily a Halloween book, like it's about ghosts and things like that, but it's not scary at all. But it takes place, you know, like I think it's more like during snowy weather, which it could be if you're somewhere where it snows for Halloween. But it doesn't mention Halloween. It's not like a Halloween book. So I thought it was really, really well done. I loved it. I actually gave it 4 stars, but you know, like I don't read this kind of stuff. So if I, like for an elementary school kid, I'd probably give it a 4.5. I just think it would be real enjoyable for anybody to read, and the pictures are cute, and the story has like good, you know, lessons to be learned in it. So I thought it was really, really well done. Okay, so those were the first 2 books that I finished. And then, do I have all my books here? I feel like I don't have all my books here. Okay, well let's talk about the next book that I finished. So, the book which has purple on the cover, I picked Small Spaces by Catherine Arden, who's the best-selling author of The Bear and Nightingale. And I gave this 4 stars as well. It's really hard for me to give these books that are not like, I mean, with an adult book, you know, it's not hard for me to give like a rating of like, you know, 5 or something like that. But with these kinds of books it is. I will tell you that I absolutely love this book. this is the book that I finished like a day after because I was so into it. It very much reminds me of Goosebumps books, but with heavier character development. Like, you really get to know a lot about the main character, Ollie, in it, and a lot about her family, and it kind of threads through this idea of loss and grief throughout the whole book. So it's a learning book as well. And it's also a lot about kindness and compassion to other people and in school. And it talks about bullying. It addresses so many issues. It just and fantastically done. A lot of the humor is adult humor again. But the characters in the book are in 6th grade. But I think like anybody could probably read it. There's nothing horribly scary in it. But I do think it's a little like suspenseful, so if you have very, very small children, I don't think this is probably the book for them. I mean, there are some things I think could be kind of scary in there, but that was really well done. So those were the 3 books I read. No, I didn't read. Okay, so I read Small Spaces, Graveyard Shakes, what was the other book that I read? Paul Tremblay, The Cabin at the End of the Universe. Oh, okay, so those are the 2 books. And then I switched out, because I had it on Audible already, and it was getting to the end of the week. I switched out Phyllis Reynolds Naylor's Witch's Sister, okay, which was my book with a scary word in it, and that was witch. I changed it to Sean Sarlis's, with an introduction by James Patterson's, Campfire, and I listened to it on Audible because I already had it on Audible, because I hate to camp. Camp is very scary to me. Going camping, I would be terrified to camp in the woods. And I ended up giving it a 4-star. It was actually really, really good. If you guys have seen this, I've seen it like Walmart, I've seen it at Meijer, I've seen it like, you know, on Audible, and obviously because I got it on Audible. I thought it was going to be really cheesy. It's about a girl that she and her family go on like this camping trip, and then they're like in the woods, and they're telling these stories around the campfire, and then like the campfire stories start coming true. I thought it was going to be cheesy. It's not cheesy. It actually reminds me a lot of like some kind of like teenage horror movie, and I don't want to say which one because it'll ruin it for you, but you know, like very much like I Know What You Did Last Summer, those kind. It reminds me of a Lois Duncan book a lot, and I thought it was really, really well done. The writing is probably not the best in the world, but the story, Boo Radley just jumped off the ottoman, but the story I thought was fantastically done. I was really impressed with it. And I did not see the end coming at all. I was driving around listening to it, and I was scared. I was kind of like, okay, this is kind of scary, you know? It will really make you think, and it doesn't go in the direction that you think it does. And so, but that being said, it's a very fair mystery, because anything that happens in it, you could have totally guessed and solved throughout the book. I mean, like at the end of it, I was kind of like, I don't know how fair this is. Like, I didn't see that coming at all. But then when I thought back on it, I was like, everything that happened was totally, it wasn't like, you know, like when you read a mystery and they like introduce somebody in the last page, and then like that's who did the whole thing, and it's like, that was not fair at all. It was not like that. And it was scary. So if you're looking for something that's easy to read, that's scary, Campfire by Sean Sarlis, I think it has James Patterson's name all over it, was good. It has like a screaming girl in the front of it. It's like her whole face, and it's like in black and red. I will do a full review of that probably sometime this week. But if you're looking for something scary to read right before Halloween, I would definitely recommend it. It was very, very short. I think the Audible version was like 5.5 hours, and I think it was like maybe 8 hours, and I listened to it in like 4 hours or something like that, because I listened to everything at 2 times speed. So, okay, I did not read that. And I also did not read, so I had initially read, was going to read Shirley Jackson's The Haunting of Hill House for my book that took place in a different time period. And then I started reading Hocus Pocus's and the new sequel, because it takes place in 2 different time periods. I did not get very far in this at all. So this is the book that I'm trying to work on right now before Halloween, because honestly, who wants to read Hocus Pocus after Halloween is over? This is my Ouija board necklace that I got at Hot Topic for a Halloween party that I went to this weekend. So I thought I should wear that with my Michael Myers t-shirt. Okay, so anyway, but I'm trying to read this week, so that's the one that I did not finish, and I think that's it. Yeah. So 4 books. I was very proud of myself. That's better than I do on most readathons. And I did something different this time on this readathon. I usually go in at the start of it, I add all of my books on Goodreads, and then like 3 months later, those books are still on my Goodreads reading list. This time I didn't do that. This time I didn't go in and add the book until I was done with it, or like I just had started it, but I knew I was gonna be able to get into it pretty deep. So yeah, I really had a fun time with Spook-a-thon this time. Let me put all of my books together. I even have books for next year. in case I might be asked to co-host it again, which would be my dream of all dreams. So here is my Spook-a-thon books that I did not read all of these. Thumbnail. Okay, how did you guys do on Spook-a-thon? Did you participate? Let me know in the comment section below. Like I said, all of the books that I read, I will be doing full reviews on this channel. And I'm getting real excited about Halloween. I'll be doing a couple Halloween book videos over here and then next week before Halloween as well. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.